morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Minute podcast. I'm your host, Angelina Mojica, and I'm excited to kick off season 2 with a theme that touches every single one of us: relationships. That's right, friends. Relationships are at the heart of our human experience. They shape who we are, how we grow, and how we show up in the world. Whether it's family, friends, romantic connections, or even the relationships we have with ourselves, each one carries lessons, challenges, and moments of pure joy. This season, we'll sit down with incredible guests who will share their stories, wisdom, and insights on building, nurturing, and even healing relationships. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive into conversations that inspire connection and growth. Now that we've set the stage for today's conversation on relationships, I'm thrilled to introduce our guest. She brings a unique perspective and a wealth of experience to the table, and I know her insights will leave you feeling inspired and equipped to navigate your own relationships with more intention and understanding. So please join me in welcoming Ayisha Mohamed to the Good Morning Minute podcast. Welcome, Ayisha. I am so excited to have you here.
Thank you so very much for having me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate, the opportunity you've given me. It's an opportunity because it's an opportunity for me to share what I have and also to touch lives that I do not know. So I'm super excited to be here today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So let's get started with a little introduction. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what drew you to today's conversation about relationships.
Right. So my name is Aisha, like I said. I run a nonprofit organization here in Ghana. I also lead so many women in the field of empowerment. So, sorry. So issues of women is not new. It's nothing new to me because it's part of my daily routine. I talk with women. I counsel children, and also I empower women. So it's very okay. I feel very comfortable discussing today's topic. So with my foundation, it's called Mata Da Aiki. It's a Hausa language, which means woman and work. Woman and work. Mata Da Aiki, Women and Work. It's an award-winning organization, and the areas of our operation is um, on health, children education, and also economic empowerment and protection.
Oh,
So today, I'm thrilled to be here and to be talking about women.
awesome. Okay. Well, excited. I do have a nonprofit myself focusing on women and teens in relationships, but also just to empower themselves in their life and create, taking back
Wow.
that identity so that they can create whatever goals or dreams that they have for themselves. So happy to share the stage with you today. So here's a question just to kind of get us started in this topic. In your opinion, what's the most important foundation for any healthy relationship?
For for me, and the relationship these days,
So what do you think about a healthy relationship? What's your opinion on the foundation for a healthy relationship?
a healthy relationship for me, its foundation is on respect, mutual respect, understanding, and if you like sharing. Because if I do not respect you well enough, I cannot be in a relationship with you. If we do not agree, we cannot work together.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, two cannot work together except they agree. So we have to respect each other. We have to. There must be respect. There must be communication, strong communication between the two parties. Communication is very key. to every relationship, either platonic or sexual relationship. In any form of relationship, there has to be strong communication, there has to be trust, there has to be trust, and there has to be understanding before any relationship can kickstart, before any relationship can say we are starting it on this on a healthy ground. There have to be these 3 or 4 key words that I just mentioned. Without
Mhm.
them, no, you just be playing with each other.
I like that. I think you're right too, and I can agree. I mean, respect, communication, and I think communication being, for me, anyways, my own opinion, the most important, because you have to be able to talk about how you feel, or what kind of thoughts you're thinking, or your goals and your dreams. Because when you're in a relationship, you want to be, I think you said, a partner, kind of someone that's going to support each other. And if you can't match those dreams or those goals, or you're not in the same path journey in that relationship, without communication, there is just going to be a fall apart in that relationship, and hurt feelings and whatever else might happen. um, can you share a moment in your life that maybe shaped how you view relationships?
Well, personally, I I have had to go through this life not so cool.
Mm.
I have I have I have to do a lot to be able to see one good thing in my life. And so relationship means a lot. Good relationship means a lot to me. I
Mm.
believe in transparency. When I'm dealing with someone, I want to deal with you as honest as possible. When I'm dealing with someone, I want you to be as free as ever. Be free. You should be able to communicate with me without fear. You should be able to talk to me without fear. You should be able to get to me without thinking, what mood is she in?
Mm.
I am always ready for the next person by me. And so I normally, I normally will build a very strong relationship with someone because of the way I am, I am patient with people
Mm-hmm.
because we are not all intellectually, we are not the same. Physically, we are not the same. And so I don't expect you to know what I know. I don't expect you to understand what I understand. I don't expect you to accept what I accept. What I accept might be very difficult for you to swallow. And what you expect might be very difficult for me to also swallow. And because of that, I will not compare myself to you, or I will not make you feel that I'm better than you or someone is better than me. Therefore, I cannot communicate with the person, or I cannot go closer to the person. No.
Mm. I like that you're talking transparency. I like that you're talking authenticity, like being your true self in a relationship, and not to be scared to do so. Now that definitely takes some mature, like emotional maturity, because you have to know your own boundaries. And because you talked about a little bit about being able to express something that may be hard for your partner to swallow, or vice versa. And that takes a lot of emotional intelligence. You have to know yourself. You have to understand what triggers you, what you don't agree on, what you have strong opinions about. I think for me, it's politics and religion, because I don't like to talk about those things unless I feel safe and secure in those relationships. So I understand that, and I appreciate that you're saying yes, transparency, being authentic in your relationship, to feel safe enough to express who you are, your opinions, your ideas. I mean, that within itself is hard to attain sometimes, or even in my own past experiences, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about romantic relationships. What do you believe is the key to a lasting romantic relationship?
It's so tough.
Yeah. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes. For me, or if I have to be very honest with someone, or if I have to be honest with the audience, a man has to trust you well enough to be able to say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Or let's even start. A man has to trust you. You have to be trustworthy enough for someone or for a guy to see you from afar and say, I think I like this character. I think I want to go closer and know. Your beauty can bring the person, your beauty can bring the person closer, but your character would tell the person to stay or to go.
Mm.
So when the person comes closer, these are some of the things they need to know that you are trustworthy enough for them to leave a whole house to you. You have to be trustworthy enough for them to open up their hearts to you to say yes, to say I'm in. I think I made the right decision. You have to be trustworthy enough for someone to be able to say, I trust you enough to be able to live with you without a condom. I trust you well enough to be able to kiss you intimately, closely. All this, it centers around trust.
Mm.
It's trust because most men, excuse me, they like to sleep with women, paid sex. They like to sleep because they say that one no trust. You don't have to build anything. You just have to go pay, do and move.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so it takes a real man who studies you or studies you for a very long period of time to be able to tell that because of ABC, because you have said this and they have investigated it one way or the other, because you have said this and they checked it and it is right, because you have presented this and they did background checks and it is right. Because of that, they dare to say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, or I want to get to know you better than how I know you. So for me, the word is trust,
Mm.
trust, and openness. Just open yourself. If anything that you want to do and you think that you want to do in half and half, bit and bit, then you don't even invest your energy into it.
Okay.
Don't.
Okay. Yeah. So I understand like trust being the key to the lasting romantic relationships, being very, because you talked about transparency and I mean, this all makes you feel safe. I know for me as a woman, I want to feel safe. I want to feel secure. I want to feel like I can trust you to understand my feelings, and when I express that you're not going to be offended, that you're going to listen. And what's the trend that's going around on TikTok? Listen and not judge. Like that's really what you're looking for in that romantic partnership. So what about conflicts? Like, how do couples navigate conflicts in a healthy way? Because you talked about being able to talk about things, and that may be hard to swallow. So, what happens in those moments where you are expressing some ideas or opinions that maybe your partner isn't quite ready to hear, or it's a tough truth? How do you navigate through those in a healthy way?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, if I'm with you, or if you are living with someone, you know that there are certain truths that worries this. Like you cannot. It's a no-go area, and you think that this is something you have to say anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure that the day you find them in a very good mood. Number one, you find them in a very good mood. You make sure their tummies are filled. You make sure that yes, the tummy is filled. You
Yeah.
make sure they are in a very good mood. Then you drop it. When you drop it and you see that tempers are rising, then don't talk much. Just give the person time to digest it. Leave where you are.
Mm-hmm.
If there's another room, you can change a room and give them time to digest it.
Mm-hmm.
Every person with wisdom would need their space to digest certain things. And so after they digest it, they will come back to you. They themselves will come back to you. After they have digested, if they don't come back to you, you go to them. And this time, because you know you have already made them very conscious of what you like or what you do not like, tell them that bitter truth. You know, they are human beings. It's on their mind. They are still, some people process it overnight. Some people will take like 2 days or close to 1 week. Just don't talk about that topic again the next time you meet. Don't talk about it. Pretend it never happened. Just apologize. I'm sorry that the other time what I said or yesterday what I said, if it didn't go down well with you, I apologize. You stop it at that. If
Uh-huh.
the person is remorseful, the person will also say, "Well, if I didn't, it's not like that. I didn't mean it to be like." No, I'm also sorry. Then that's it. That means the person has understood you now. The person who does not want to understand, when you apologize, leave it there. They will take so much time to process it, and they will eventually come around.
Okay, so I like your approach. I like that you said make sure that they're in a happy mood. Like you don't want to hit them with some truth when they're coming out of a bad day, for sure. And then you mentioned like having their tummies filled so that they have they're full. I like that because you're addressing some of the basic needs of human nature. Like you're making sure that they're emotionally happy, that they're fed, they're hydrated, they're not in a mood that would just trigger anger or something like that. So I like that you're mentioning those things because that's absolutely a safe way to approach a heavy topic in a relationship for sure. And then you don't continue the topic. You allow bits of that topic to just kind of be digested over some time because depending on your partner, they may want to receive that information and think about it and how they're going to respond to that situation or what you said. Or maybe it's something that they just need to change within themselves. They didn't realize that you were feeling a certain way about something, and so now they're like, oh my gosh, okay, I need to adjust something within myself. So they're taking time to really figure that out, and then the next day or when you do approach it again, just to say, hey, I noticed that what I gave you was hard to hear or hard to swallow, so I just want to apologize. I those are my feelings, but my intent was not to hurt you, and that's what you're apologizing for is just the intention that may have been received or whatever, and move on from that, and you don't bring it back up. You've expressed yourself, and you don't keep bringing it back up. And then, that also opens up an opportunity for your partner to go, hey, yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. I thought about it and let me just kind of tell you what I'm hearing or whatnot. So I like that. I like that approach. Um, so I want to kind of,
And
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry, sometimes we don't apologize because we are wrong. Sometimes we apologize because we want peace to reign. So
Mm-hmm.
for the sake of that peace, you don't always have to wait for someone who hurt you or somebody you have hurt to come back and about it to look remorseful. Sometimes you don't. You just let it slide for the sake of peace. You just go and say, "I'm sorry." And in northern Ghana, where I come from, we don't say "I'm sorry" standard. We say "I'm sorry" on our knees. You go
Mm-hmm.
on your knees. It means you've surrendered. I'm totally down. So I am on my knees. I'm apologizing. And so if the person really, really, really is into you, the person will be broken. So at that time, the person will just pause. And the person will go like, I think this lady is really apologetic. So the apology accepted. Even if you are lucky that day they'll buy you chocolates or they'll buy you necklace or something because you have done something different from what they normally know.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't apologize always because you are wrong. Sometimes you might be right, but you just want peace to reign. Then you just go and apologize.
I like that, just for the sake of peace, because here's what I often coach when I'm talking to people and we're talking about relationships and stuff like that is, are you wanting to be right? Because sometimes if you keep forcing the issue so that you can be right, you might lose that relationship,
Yeah.
right? Or are you wanting to reconcile? Do you like what's that relationship? What's the importance of that relationship? Because sometimes reconciliation, sometimes being able to say you're sorry, and let things lay where they lay and not force an issue because you're trying to be right, but you're trying to reconcile for the sake of peace, for the sake of the love that is in that relationship, the respect that's in that relationship. You let it lie so that you can continue to relationship with each other and not have hard feelings or animosity or resentment towards each other, and you continue to grow healthy in your communication. So I like that you say that. I mean, it is true because it's either you're gonna want to be right and you're gonna force that issue to the demise of the relationship, or you're going to say, you know what, it's not that big a deal. I've expressed what I need to express, and I'm, apologizing that it wasn't received the way I intended to give it. And let's move on. I still love you. I still care about you. I still want to be your friend, whatever the case may be. Let's just move on.
That is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about friendships and maybe support systems. How do you recognize when a friendship is healthy or toxic? What are some of the signs?
If you have a friend and the friend cares about you, the signs that you see is when you are sad, they are sad. Sometimes they don't even have to show to you that they are sad, but it weakens them, and everything they are supposed to do, they stop it and they concentrate on you because someone around them is sad. How do you know someone around you is happy for you? When you get something, for instance, if you reach a milestone, they celebrate with you. They don't go asking, and that dress that you wore for your graduation, where did you get it? Are you sure it's original? You know, a true friend, even if you're wearing rags, they cover it up. A true friend will stand by you, even if everyone says negative things about you. I tell you a story. I had a problem with, is that time? Do you have time?
Yeah, you have time.
My family had a problem. A friend that my mommy took care of during our childhood. Eventually, we all grew up to this level, and so one thing happened, and then they in the community they said my mom was a witch in the community. That lady went and labeled my mom as a witch. My very good friend, we eat together. Even if she comes and I'm not there, my mom would tell her, "This is your friend's food. If she doesn't want to come, you can have it." This same person came back and labeled my mom a witch, and everyone around us said, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." It took one friend to say no. This is injustice. This is too much for this woman. This woman, I don't know her. She doesn't know me. She just saw me. She treated me well. She did this. She did that. No, no. Whatever this case will go to, that my friend told me, Aisha, wherever this case will go to, I am solidly behind you. She lives in the States and I live in Ghana. So you can imagine if I didn't have that singular friend who would stand in for me. We were all devastated. Everybody, and I was going through that. The next day, I was supposed to go for my CS to remove my baby. And lot happened within that period because of one bad friend. And
Mm,
so it takes one good friend to stand by you, even if the whole world, the earth is shaking around you. She holds on to you and she tells you, "I got your back."
mm-hmm,
It's not everyone that is lucky to have such a friend. But once you find someone who is always there for you, don't play with such a person.
mm.
And
That,
how would you know it's someone who is not into you? A friend that's always a passive one. That's only passing and trying to help. Everything you do, she tells you, "Ah, That that dress, was it not the one we saw by the roadside? Is that not the second hand dress? Meanwhile, she knows that the shop you bought it from, that's where she bought it. She bought her own.
Mm.
They'll always talk down on you. They always make you feel inferior. They always make you feel that. Then she goes like, "That's your boyfriend. I heard he's all over." What kind of boyfriend is that? There is nothing that they will tell you to encourage you. Any good thing they see, any little light they see in you, they will make sure they quench it. So you have to
Mm.
be very wise when you are dealing with people of that sort. So it's very easy for you to identify them, both the good and the bad. It's very easy, very very easy.
And I think you're right. And I think when we talk about friends from a woman's perspective, it's very different than a man's. I don't know. And if I have men out there that are listening that want to come on and talk about relationships, let's do it. But I think from a women's perspective, we just historically have been programmed to tear each other down, and we can be very deceitful in friendships because we can't pretend to like each other, and then while we're not, face to face within that friendship, doing other things to really tear someone down. So, I mean, you really do have to be careful with the intentions of friendships, and uh, understand that sometimes you've got to let go of friendships in order for you to grow, in order for you to continue to go where your goals are leading you. And sometimes that means letting go of those friends that aren't helping you, that are just keeping you down. Um, so yes, so good information, great story. Let's talk a little bit about maybe if you could give your younger self one piece of relationship advice, what would it be?
Don't chase, don't chase money, and
Mm,
don't date poverty. Poverty. You know, we have two kinds of poverty. A poor person with pride and with laziness. Don't go there. There's a poor person who is striving, who believes that I have an aim, I have to achieve this. Such a person, if you deal with such a person, you go far in life. They drag you along, they carry you along. But
mm,
you see the ones that are handsome and they can switch off and they are lazy and they expect you to go and come. Oh, I'll stay here. I'll take care of the, go to work. By the time you can clean here, that's
mm,
lazy attitude, lazy mentality. By the time you realize, they'll drag you down.
mm,
So don't run after the rich people. Instead, strive to stand tall by yourself. A woman is supposed to have to reach to attain at a level before you say yes, I do to into marriage.
mm,
Don't go there and think you are going to siphon money and go back when the guy dies. Who told you the guy is going to die before you? Sometimes you go there and because you came empty, they will traumatize you to the extent that you will go empty. So make sure that before you say I do, you already have attained some level of education. If you are not so privileged to attain education, make sure that at least you have something doing, a skill, something that can keep you moving, whether with or without the man.
mm, mm.
So at the
Uh,
end of the day, at the end of the day, you don't really care whether he's there, whether he adds up something or he doesn't add up, because you are a made woman.
I like that. And I've often said this in my coaching sessions too, is you're two independent people that come together to relationship. You never lose your independence. So you mentioned having some type of education or skill set in order to continue your own personal growth, and you want someone that's going to match that with you in a relationship, uh, because you don't want to date someone that doesn't want to do anything, that wants you to carry the load. And I know for you mentioned not chasing and not um, putting everything into like marriage or things like that, because I know that society has taught us women that that's kind of what we're created for, is for marriage, is for making babies. And now you're starting to see a societal shift where women want more than just to be a wife and just to be a mother. They want big pictures and big dreams and on all those other things too. And so when you do come into a relationship, you don't want to be settling. You want to know your worth and you want to match that in your companion, is what I'm hearing. Well,
The
I
world has,
go ahead.
sorry, the world has is fast becoming the ladies' world. So you have
Mm,
to step, you have to be able to build it on top. You have to be able to attain some level, to be able to mingle with women your age, women above you. Because these are not societies where empty women come there. They don't carry their husband's name to that society. It's becoming a woman's world. So you have to bundle up as a
mm.
woman. It's no more my husband did this and my husband paid and then no, please. We are talking about how much did you spend, not your husband. It's becoming a woman's world.
A woman's world for sure. And I agree. I think women are aspiring to be more than what we've been in the past. And I think that's great. Um, Ayisha, I want to just say thank you so much for being a guest on our show. If someone were to hear you and want to know more about you or more about your nonprofit, where could they reach you at? What information do you have to give to our listeners?
Okay, so if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me on Aisha Mohamed at Aisha Mohamed 80 at gmail.com. Ayisha Mohamed 80 at gmail.com. Or you can just reach me on WhatsApp. Can I drop my WhatsApp number?
Yeah, you can. Yes.
On +233 245 0 222 58.
Okay,
I said,
wonderful.
should I say it again?
Yes, yes, please.
+245 24. Oh yes, sorry. +245 0 222 58.
Okay, wonderful. All right, Ayisha, I want to just thank you so much for being a guest on our show. I look forward to hearing more about your nonprofit, and I will definitely keep an eye out. Everyone out there that was listening, thank you so much. This wraps up our Good Morning Minute. And I want to say this is Angelina Mojica, your life coach, sending you much love, much peace, many blessings.